Hi everyone, welcome to the first and maybe of many chats of two of the biggest barbarians in the world. As you can see, me and our boy Craine-Plays with his face reveal to the world, to all the fans that have been following you for what? For years now, probably, right?
1 year, maybe, yeah.
Okay, let's say years, like to excite everyone. So, in this chat, we're gonna be speaking about the state of Barbarian. We're gonna go through topics like the PvE and PvP meta, the story of Barbarian since day one, told by our Craine-Plays, and then we're gonna also be speaking about is it viable, the free to play Barb. We all know the answer, right? Mid max and guild activities. So I'm super happy to have you here, and please present yourself to everyone.
Thank you, Indez. And hi, my Immortal Nerds. Nice being here first time with not only my voice, but that nice image here. So it's very cool to be here and to have the chance to discuss the current state of the Barbarian. Looking forward to it, Indez. Thank you for having me. And yeah, as you said, I covering most of the Barbarian stuff in the past year, all of the builds and metas and insights and so on. So hopefully I can benefit this chat today. And yeah, let's go.
I'm sure that you will, man. So my name is Indez. If you don't know me, well, I play video games. I'm from Portugal, and some people are calling me the Cristiano Ronaldo of Diablo Immortal now. So I don't know about this, but yeah, I love Barbarian and so Craine, and that's why we're here. So let's start with the first question. How does Barbarian fit in the current PvE and PvP meta?
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting, right? To see the different kind of metas that are out there currently. How do they work? How good does it feel? And yeah, I would say let's start with a little insight into PvE, right?
Yeah.
Is Barbarian valid in PvE? What do you think? What do
I,
you see currently?
I think it is in a very strong state right now. It does damage. It's really fast, and it is fast. That's all it wants. Uh,
Definitely, yeah.
it's perfect. I think in the past maybe it struggled a bit, especially with the damage. But now I think the stats are so big that Barbarian is in a great spot.
Yeah, I think so. We have some game modes to compare it. I think mostly Terror Rifts are currently out there. We have
Mm-hmm.
the Vanguard mode, maybe Ereban, and I think those three are really interesting to see how does it work,
Yeah.
especially Vanguard. I think everyone is trying to tackle it currently. Many already have their high charm, can do it properly,
Yeah.
and some are still struggling and going for it. So do you have already farmed the Vanguard? Are
Uh,
you in a good spot?
I am in a great spot, man. I didn't share yet, but this week I got really lucky. I got the best in slot might charm level 13, and
Nice.
I managed to get it to level 14. So now I'm just
Nice.
like doing a casual 30 million crits, as a free to play. Nothing special, but yeah, I feel like right now Barbarian for special Vanguard S tier, like S plus plus plus, like it just
Definitely.
freaking insane the damage it does. Did you try?
Yeah, you have all the survivability with the raw of the persuasion, you have your undying rage, and you still have a heavy, heavy primary attack, or if you go with other builds, still a heavy damage burst you can do at the final boss. So it's quite easy to go there. You still need some damage dealers. A
Yeah.
Tempest wouldn't hurt a Necromancer as well, definitely. But you are out there to just easily survive it. You're not blocking anyone from tackling that game mode. And that's why it's super easy to play.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I feel like, for example, I use the Ota build with the instead. I'm using like with the roar of persuasion, like that offhand that gives you healing and also gives you 50% more crit damage. So the
Mhm.
scaling of crit damage plus, I usually bring a Tempest with the new chest that they have that increases 50% crit damage on the boss also. It's just gonna do insane damage. And you have like this ice X with frigid grim. I think that's the name
Yep.
of the answers, and it is insanely good for your party because you just say, hey, just keep near that nexus or whatever is the name, And with those with those axes, you're gonna just freeze everyone around you, and everyone's gonna be safe. You can even bring a demon hunter. You know, that's how good it is. You can even bring a demon hunter. They are I think demon hunter, when it comes to the vanguard, struggles a lot. I don't think they have a lot of survivability, because that's just how it is: insane damage and not survivability. But if you bring a barb that's gonna do a lot of damage and freeze everyone, gonna keep you safe.
Absolutely. I still think Necromancer are maybe still the strongest class in there because of their shields, their bone shields and everything, and the huge damage output they have. But Barbarian is absolutely on the same height. It's performing really, really good. But as you said, there is the Hota build, there is some Wall, Frigid Grin builds, some primary builds. I mean, what is there currently out there on the PvE sites for builds? And that's, I think, pretty interesting that you have such a high variety currently that you can play different builds based on primary, based on skill, based on whatever. So this means you can easily swap to that class. And this is why it's so nice currently. You can swap to it and swap back to another class. You can try it out without needing to change everything on your reforges, on your gems, and all of that stuff. You can just hop onto it, try it, have your fun, and then you can pass on. And this is what's it's really really good what they did on that class. Honestly, the developers in the last month. That's my opinion here.
No, I think when it comes to classes, I think they are all going into a better direction. But also, I can only speak from like the past 6 months, right? That's when I started to play, so it's very short when it comes like to the whole timeline. But I also like to see other classes getting better, because everyone now is talking about how Barbarian is so powerful and it's so cool, and it is really fun to play. Like, if you play a Barbarian, you literally feel like a god, like you know. So I understand the feedback, but I will not say that Barbarian needs a nerf. I just think like the other class needs a buff, you know, because nerfs are always, they feel bad, man. Like, you are so strong, and the next patch you're like so weak. You don't want that. You want to keep feeling strong, but you are understandable enough that Crusaders, maybe some demon hunters in survivability. You have monks. I mean, come on. So just boost them to come to the level of Barbarian, and I think everything will be so much better.
Honestly, that's why we say, where are we currently? I think Barbarian is one of the best classes currently through all of the different disciplines. But of course, it still has some weaknesses. Yes, the damage output is good. I just posted a video with a 300 million DPM build that you can get with a primary. There is this video from Oroth, very nice, heavy burst damage Hota build. So nice damage output. But we have to see, that's still not S plus tier. We are still having Necromancers and Tempests that get up to a 500 million DPM. They are still damage dealers per excellence, which Barb isn't. And the point is, it's for them easier to get. So if you're a casual player and you want to be the absolutely high class in raid, get every glory chest, yes, Barbarian is good, but it's not the best. So that's a little thing where I say, okay, it's A to S tier when it comes to the damage output, but it has improved so a lot, and it's so much fun to play because it has that high AoE damage outburst, and it's really, really nice.
I feel like I will not say that, Barbarian is not a carry. It was never meant to be a carry, and it's there to be more like a bruiser, right? Like this meaty ball sack in front of the party that now it does damage, but it was mainly there to what? Apply Sunder 30% to your party, and or 34% armor shred from your shoulders with a cleave. That was like super powerful. And how would you not want a Barbarian also with you, the same way you wouldn't want like a Crusader with you? No, it's just like you have this guy that now does damage, but also adds more damage to the party. So I feel like that's why I think it is in a very good spot. Just to finish and wrap it up, like the Vanguard, I can see, and I see some comments like on the Discord, and people they also come to me saying that they are struggling like in lower levels. Of course, like now you pretty much, if you're lucky, you can get someone to carry you. But if you have like a charm level like 6, 7, or 8, you can still do it with a party like that, as long as if you played World of Warcraft or any other game, you know how to build a party to synergize your buffs and debuffs with each other, so you can do so much more damage, like sometimes like 2 or 3 times more damage. So for example, the way I brought the armor shred with the auto build with the spinning thing. Then another barb, they came with the last breaker, which is the primary spec that you also talking about. He applied the Sunder. Then we had this Tempest, and the Tempest was he was pretty much just applying it was the carry. We were there for you do all the damage. We are here to do damage, but also mainly to boost you. And then we had another barb. So it was like 3 barbs in one time. And this barb was with a very, very interesting build that I haven't seen in a while. That he was using Whirlwind to apply the increased crit damage on the targets, plus the demoralized shout buff that gives you a damage buff. So it was pretty much, it was a support barb,
Absolutely. And those support barbs are really nice, especially when you go to the next step, the gauntlet. The gauntlets are really hard to tackle, especially the highest one of the next difficulty tier. And in there, you normally want your necromancer, you want every armor reduction stack you can get. And there, in that calculation, a barbarian is really, really good. And it shows how important it is to tackle the hardest content there is currently, the highest Inferno gauntlet. A barbarian helps you. And this shows how important this class is.
Yeah. Now, but I'm just saying this because if you are struggling and you cannot do it, just think, how is my party looking? How is my setup looking? Do I got like 3 demon hunters? Of course you're not gonna do it 3 demon hunters unless they are a whale, and even so they'll probably struggle to stay alive because of like those explosions that they do a lot of damage. But just think about, we could have had 3 barbs with the same spec, and maybe we could do it, but probably not, because it was very hard to do the DPS check at the time. So whenever you just merge like Sunder, 30% more damage. Then we have the armor break with the 34% more damage. Then we have the Tempest with a 50% crit more damage. And then you have the other guy with giving the attack buff plus the crit chance increase on the target. We were doing, I don't even know, but I think I was like doing probably like 17 to 18 million with a charm like level 8. I think that back then was like level 7 or 8. It was crazy. So please don't sleep on these, because I know that a lot of people struggle, but just be smart. Check your current party setup, and there are ways to go about it. No, you don't always want to just go with the easy path and, oh, there is a whale, okay, they're gonna carry me. Because there's something nice that comes from overcoming a challenge with your strategy. So I just come from World of Warcraft, and that's pretty much what we used to do. So I found that like very exciting.
Yeah, it's, again, guys, keep in mind it's a community game. Use your warband, use your clan, use the chat functions in there. The people in the community of Diablo Immortal are so nice. They're always helping. They like to tackle this stuff. And I know that it is often a casual issue, that you do not find the people you need on time. You're just doing random groups and everything. But take the time. It's so easy. Other people are searching as well. Take the time, write a little sentence into the clan chat or the Shadow or Immortal chat. Use that, and you will find good partners to tackle that content.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, regarding Terra Rift, I feel like Terra Rift at this moment, it is pretty much a farm fest. I don't remember the last time I struggled in Terra Rift now. I pretty much just go there and obliterate. I don't know about you, but I feel like you're in the same position. Like, in the beginning they were
It's
way
a
harder.
challenge to join as late as possible, 4 minutes after the
Yeah.
Terror Rift already starts, and still doing it.
Yeah, that's like doing it in hardcore, you know, like
Yeah.
you have this time limit. I do exactly the same, and I don't
But
know,
it is,
so it
yeah.
pumps you up.
I had the challenge to see, okay, I'm not that much a fan of the Hota build. I know that it is effective and I know that it's good, you know, but for PvE, it is too much stuff happening on my screen.
Yeah,
So
but you
this
got it.
always
Did you ever
smashing it.
try my
Oof.
version? Did you ever try my version with the ice cleaves?
Yeah, because I'm playing the Ice Cleaves myself in other
Ah,
builds.
that's
It's really nice.
that's. Tell me, you can say now. It's just you and me here. That's the best version. Okay.
As I said, I do not like the Hota build that much, but I tried the Whirlwind again, and what I really feel is that the Whirlwind is still one of the strongest builds the Barbarian has in PvE, especially for open world farm to just tackle that moment of the Wrath, to activate that sprint hidden in the
Yeah.
Wrath, where you need to primary attack,
Yeah.
which just makes it
It's so
clunky
annoying.
because you have to stop to attack and then run.
Yeah.
But the wall activating that sprint. So that's why
Oh.
I think for open world, it's still the fastest thing to go with the wall, especially with the not the newest one, the one before,
Yeah.
where you get damage on yourself. The combination with the Berg Breaker, it's awesome. You're super fast. You're dealing heavy damage, and honestly, I will put out a video for that in the next upcoming days. Is Whirlwind still valid and where you can play it? It's a nice thing, and it's still a very good addition to the Hota, to the primary chains, and so on builds for
Yeah.
PvE. That's
Yeah.
still, again, huge variety of what you can play.
I would love, you know, I'm a Diablo 3 spin to win Barbarian, okay? I got it to level 100 Paragon whenever it was like actually hard before the expansion, and I just loved it. One thing that I'll say that annoys me a lot, and that's why I don't play a lot of Whirlwind, is like, why cannot I just refresh my Berserker stand while I'm still in Whirlwind, you know?
Mhm.
You know, I have to stop Whirlwind. It's like I cannot infinite keep spinning, you know, and that's what I want. I always have to get out of Whirlwind, rat again, and then go back to Whirlwind. Or, for example, there was this
It's
build.
called first world problems.
I mean, but it is part. Like I feel like when I'm, because I play, usually I do like long farm sessions.
Yeah.
When I do, and so I try to always look for the most comfortable build to play with. You know, Ota is not comfortable at all. I agree with you, but it is fun, and sometimes I just put it like,
It's
okay, I'm
effective.
feeling like to go on dungeons or terror rifts, and I just want to see millions on screen, you know. Or
Mhm.
Vanguard is also really fun, but I will
Yeah.
say like 90% of the time I'm using Lace Break, which is like, you know, I pick up my mouse, I click here, and that's it is what it is. You know, it does all the damage, and I just love it. So, you know, I feel like comfort is also important on a build, and
Yeah.
yeah, because it's just like my wrists are not the same as it was back in the day, you know. So being spamming all the time, it is not good. But I'm really excited
How
for that
good
build.
is your comfort with the PvP skills? Builds, honestly. Currently. That would be interesting.
No, there's not a lot of comfort though. I mean,
No,
if you're
no,
doing
really
PvP,
not. It's
no,
it's
you're fully
annoying.
engaged. I mean, if you're comfortable doing PvP, probably you're feeding. You know, like you're. In
There were so many builds in the past where you just stand behind the line and make everything with a ranged attack. Your hammer, your axe, your hammer, your axe, and you're
What?
just standing there and little meat sack at the idle, you know? And nowadays you have to run like crazy, being everywhere at the same time.
I,
It's got to a new level, I would say.
I didn't know about that meta, bro. Uh,
It was nice. It was a furious charge meta where you had that crit a wrath, and you just hopped in once, and then you throw your axes from behind, or had your spears where you clashed everyone in
oh
front
my
of
god.
you. So it was a
I
lot
use that one.
easier.
I use the chains that you know, stun everyone in the middle. That's kind of cool. I like the effect of that answers. But you know what I tried? There was this video that you made like a while back when you explained like the lower res until the high res, and you had like
Mhm.
this lower res for noobs. where you use that chains build with it, and I tried,
Yeah.
and I gotta say I was not a fan because I still love I love the shackle fate. There's nothing better with that. But you know, if it was back then before the shackle fate was a thing, I'm probably gonna use that one.
It was a meta item before the Shackled Fate, yes.
Yeah.
It
So
was good.
so actually now, like, since we're speaking about PvP, what do you think about the PvP meta right now?
PvP meta is definitely S tier. So yes, Barbarian is at the top of the tree, and brings a lot of benefit. I think it's the hardest enemy of the Barbarian is the Barbarian. And that's really interesting currently because people are playing that Hammer of the Ancients meta and the others playing that Spartusk meta, and all of them running to each other, and one of them obviously loses. So you have to tackle that other Barbarians pretty good. But it's fun, yeah. It's really fun. You can do now both. You can be a real damage dealer without being ultra high resonance. And I think that is the first time for the Barbarian to deal so much damage and to be such at a good position of actually carrying the team, not just with the idol, but with killing effectively. So that's why it's a lot of fun, especially for players like me, who had been a meat sack for the last 1 year, doing nothing but standing around and trying not to die and dealing dots or anything. So it's a cool addition to the game. And yes, it is not always the most effective thing to go with that Hota build. You see it in the vault where you go with PvP, or in the Immortal cycle when you need to defend anything.
Yeah.
You will not definitely go with the Hota build, because there you actually need to put out the right people at the right time, and there the Spartusk is just the best item.
Yeah,
definitely. But still,
if you want to
it's a
have
lot
fun,
of fun.
go Ota. Let's be honest. If you want to go have fun in BGs,
That's right.
I
And
completely
especially if
agree.
you want to climb the ranks.
You
Climbing the ranks
okay.
with Hota is nice.
Okay, I will say that I have to add something there. Okay,
Go with it.
because okay, right now I'm 400 and almost 4,700 almost. Okay,
That's a lot.
that's a lot, and I only been like in maintenance mode, only doing three matches per day. But I have like this problem that I cannot lose. I don't know. I know it's been a while since I lost a match, and I'm not even flexing. It's just that's how it is. But I think also I'm becoming like way smarter as a player in this season, especially. Like there was like a massive improvement that I had in me last season to this one, and I just realized because I always try to be the hero, you know. I always try to go for the play, because that's where you want to go for the play, and I just can't at this high reso. I can't. But I will say if you're low reso and if you want to go probably like from bronze to legend, yeah, Ota build, bro, you're gonna skyrocket to legend.
Exactly.
You're gonna do so well. And if you're just like, of course you're gonna have like tough matches here and there, like you know how matchmaking is. But once you get to legend, well, after 3,500, and I think a lot of players, they don't know this, and I'm trying to spread the message because that's how it is. Especially after 3,500 rating, your resonance doesn't matter. Like you're considered high level legend, so you're gonna be matched with anything that they already have higher resonance or they are beyond 3,500 rating. So what it means for me that I'm only matched with whales now. 10k whales, 11k whales, 9k, 8k, all the time. Okay, I'm pretty much always the lower resonance, and I try to have fun with Ota. But here's my problem: I can't even break the shield. I like a Tempest comes. I try to smack him, but the shields are too thick, man. I don't do enough damage. So
absolutely, yeah. That's a classic calculation of the armor penetration versus armor. And with your armor penetration at that level, you won't deal any damage anymore. You have to crit to deal any damage, and if you do, then it gets reduced by 40% or something, and then even other damage reduction effects come into place, and it just poof.
Yeah.
It's not there.
So
But that's the point.
yeah.
Ranking up when you're at similar or versus enemies at a similar secondary or resonance sets, then you can perform. And if you are the high resonance players. So as you maybe see in some Discord channels, there are some other guys, Yumiko, I think she's called, or he's called.
Yeah. It's a big
posting videos as a veil, absolutely smashing everything.
Yeah.
Yes, then the Hota is still fun. But you're absolutely right. When you reach that legendary field where you get nearly always matched with other high resonance players, you need to go back to a disrupt build. Yeah. And for a disrupt build, Spartusk is the way to go.
Yeah. And I still think like the good old, demon, it's not demon, it's the demo shout with the chains. The chains, I'll say, they are so overpowered. If you know how to play with the chains smartly, that's what I'm trying to explain. Like the difference that there is in this past season and this season is that now I learn how to grab people from the idols, or like to be like in the corner of the corner of the stairs. They are trying to come out and I just grab them. They get stuck there. It's just like I learned a lot of like these small tricks inside the BG, because it comes with the experience. It's just like as you keep playing. And Spartusks, don't go into the idol if you know that there's a way, like like you said, like the high resonance players, that they can actually play the Ota build. And because if you go there, you're gonna get destroyed, and exactly. some of them are also using Ota with Spartusk. So those for me are very dangerous. But you want to be the sneaky one. You want to be the Barb that you want to go there. You see, he's almost at 1%. Okay, Spartusk, boom, and it's down. The whale is down. Nice, you can go forward. So and I feel like if you play in a more calculated way, you will just help your team so much more. Doesn't matter your resonance, okay? Literally doesn't matter your resonance. You're there to be like the Spartusk bot and dispel everyone. And
like this, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Use your Undying Rage as good as you can. Hopefully you don't get to another Spartusk Barbarian, and hopefully you can get him before he gets you.
Yeah. So I'll definitely say, right now, PvP meta, it is pretty good. It is fun. It is fun. Even if you're playing like the Spartusk build as I am, you're gonna have a lot of fun. So let's I brought this topic of story of Barbarian because I know that here Craine is it's been a day one Barbarian since the start, so he knows more than I do. And I'm just curious to know, how was Barbarian in the beginning? I think it must be overpowered, no?
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
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 Oh my god.
I played the Demon Hunter and the Barbarian as two first classes, where I focused most. For Barbarian, it was, we started nearly with a spin to win. It was the initial stuff where Whirlwind was the way to go, and it had really crazy skills that you needed to actually deal damage, because you see, Whirlwind is not dealing damage now, just with a lot of tweaks to get it to that point. And we didn't have that essences. There were 2 essences missing. We just had 6 pieces.
Oh.
Then all the sets, they didn't have that ultimate skills. We had not that much gems, and everything was like.
So you're saying that was very limited, the game back then?
Yeah, definitely. And that's why there were some crazy Hota combinations at that time. But we didn't work with Hota to just smash. We used the summons. So you had 2 summons in there with the ancient summons from the Hota to delivering some damage. In addition, as a new damage source, because you couldn't push your damage source that much. So that's why it was.
So you're saying
really
like
a different Barbarian.
Those 2 guardians that you can summon, I think I played them inside Fractured Plane. I think that's the answers
Yeah.
you're talking about. Like that he summons like these two golden guys,
Yeah.
and they start like broke.
They had a heavy cooldown, like you could call them once in a dungeon and that's it. So you waited for the boss, of course, and then you called those guys. And yeah, this was, I think, before the whole development that started 4 months ago, that was still one of the main damage builds for Barbarian. It was still there and valid. So yeah, then after that, it became a bit cooler. Then we went into that Furious Charge stuff.
Ooh.
So we go with that absolutely
Become a bull, right?
bad skill, Furious Charge, that you always miss. That was always interrupted by someone. As soon as a wizard was there with a high attack speed, you was interrupted, your charge was gone, and you could do nothing. Then that whole discussion started. What is a loss of control? What is a total loss of control? Oh, it's just a knock up. What should we do? Blah blah. You know, it was a crazy time, and what many did not know during that time, the strongest class was the monk. You know, we started with the monk as one of the strongest classes. He was such a damage monster, jumping everywhere, killing you instantly. When you had the Immortal Circle, any battle in there, there were only monks everywhere, dashing around like crazy. So it was a time where the monk was really good. For nearly the whole first year, the monk was very, very strong. Before it then reached the devil's
Now
pit
it's like it went from here to here, right? Like it doesn't even appear now on the tier list. It's just like
it was really a changing time.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't. Okay, so now that you say that, I think I understand why there's so many monk fanboys. You know, like they are like some really like there's if there is a class that I think that has like very hardcore dedicated players, it is monk. You know, because monk has been struggling for so long since I started playing the game, and they are still. You don't know anything in this. If you knew the skills of monk, you will get it, man. Obviously, you never played monk, so you don't know shit. So, but I feel for them, you know, because I think they should be better.
Yeah, from time to time I visit the monk again to see the new essences. I still hope for a revival because it is really a cool class. It makes so much fun, but it just lacks some essential stuff. And maybe only 4 or 5 weeks, and then they're coming back to the surface. Let's see.
They are better
I
now.
strongly believe that this will happen.
They're like the two builds now. There's like one is like the one shot monk build that they try to do like a lot of burst damage. The problem is like everyone is savior. That's the problem. Like with these one shot builds, it's like savior, undying rage. You know, it's just like stuff, man. It is stuff. And then there's like the helicopter. You know, like the the spinning, and they just start spinning.
I think it was kill switch or Sitgang. I think kill switch. Helicopter.
It is like a helicopter meme, and they do a lot of damage. The problem with that build, unfortunately, doesn't have immunity to CC, because if it had immunity to CC, it would be super strong.
Yeah, I think they will fix it. Honestly, they just keep it in the past. They want to serve that barbarian wave. They want to keep it a bit longer. That higher resonance players who are invested into that take their time, have their fun, and then the whole switch will come again.
Yeah,
it's always like this. I'm looking forward to it because it will bring a new variety and new challenges to the game, and that's what I always like.
Yeah,
that's what needed to happen while we were on the Furious Charge build, because this was for our Barbarian the worst time. We had nothing to say in the battleground. We were really just meat sacks. Getting into the idol somehow.
Just a
some
question.
CC, even as a high resonance player, you had no chance to really bring an effect on killing or something. You were just there to push or hold the idol. That's it. And it was so boring.
So you've been a barbarian like it's your main, right? You've been a main barbarian this whole time. So even though you played around, because I mean that's one of the best features of the Immortal is like go play other classes sometimes. You know, for me when they ask me, it's like, oh, why are you not playing these or that? You say, I'm not playing because right now barbarian is the most fun. Like
Yeah,
that's why, like, if in the future, monk or something else, I might give it a shot. So
definitely.
but you are the day one main barbarian until now. Okay, so you understand all the struggles. So you're saying Furious Charge in that time was like we were the monks of
Yeah,
the present day. Okay.
we were the monks. It was B class maybe. We still had the Undying Rage, and this is what saved us through every game because we could just stand there and deliver some effect to the team.
Yeah.
That's why it was still valid. Some played the immortal as an immortal to have it in the
In that challenge against the shadows,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
to be the immortal actually, because it was a class where you could stack your armor, and this was always very helpful to win that immortal fight with the whole crowd. You needed that armor to actually survive. But yeah, otherwise many went away from the barbarian in that time. Yeah, definitely. And then we slowly came back. It was the Sundered Legacy. We had now a Whirlwind with Firestorm. This was a nice meta, especially for PvE, of course. And this was then the time where we could deliver dots. Many played the Whirlwind and started on playing dots to actually be relevant. This is where every barbarian switched to potency. It was a whole potency time. Everyone said stack potency, otherwise it's you're totally useless. I didn't take that change. Honestly, I
Yeah.
always
Fuck
stayed on
that.
armor penetration.
I love dots,
But
but I don't go potency. I
yeah,
don't.
it's you can watch that video from VK where he explains how dots or how potency actually benefits dots or not. And of
Yeah.
course, if you are a necromancer and if you only rely on that dots, yes, potency helps you definitely, but it will not make you stronger. It will not make more damage or anything. It just will increase the duration of the dots. That's all. And that's for barbarian always just one tick.
Yeah.
One tick more. That's it. That's all you get. So the question is, do you want that 2 ticks that you have to matter to deal damage? Or do you want to have 3 ticks that do not do any damage?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
always a question. Okay, but they did it, and this was nice. And then I think this was the prime or the main time of the Crusaders. That was after the monks. The Crusaders were the real deal. You needed a Crusader in every battle that you wanted to do. Every clan activity, every immortal fight, every battleground you wanted Crusaders. Without Crusaders, the game was lost always. So main class in that time. Barbarians again, somewhere. Yeah, and
I'll have
then
to add that I don't think it's healthy at any point that one class rules them all. So I don't think Barbarian ruling all the modes is good, because I feel like a healthy game, it is a game that you have certain classes that are like extremely good in certain modes, and it's okay to be bad at others. You don't need to be, like you said, like monk was like the king almost at everything. Now then he was a crusader, then probably now it is what the barbarian. So I don't
necromancer,
think it is the
my opinion.
healthiest spot. That's why I was saying please buff the rest.
Mhm.
So it balances a bit.
Yeah, the balance is of course manipulated by the gamers itself, because as soon as one class gets promoted just verbally to the best class, everyone switches to that class. And in every battleground or any PvP kind of game where you have many players playing the same class, it multiplies in strength. Yes, it multiplies in the weakness as well, definitely. But mostly they will have like there were games before where the demon hunter, you had 6 demon hunters in the game. You couldn't even go to the idol, you were just exploding, no chance. And before the wizard. So they are changing by playing all the same class.
Yeah.
They are changing the importance of the class. That's why I think there is a solution to Battleground to quit with that stuff. And it's pre-made Battleground. If you would allow at least 2 players to join as a team, you can play combos, and you can play nice combos with different classes, and you can change and delete that whole meta thing into more creative, more flexible system,
I actually think that's a very interesting idea. I would not remove the solo queue. Do you know League of Legends, for example? like the
Yeah.
mobile game. So if you ever played League of Legends, first, I'm sorry if you did. Second, they have solo queue, and they have these now I think it's like flex queue or something, but it was like after you add one party member, you will always be matched with another team with two, was like the
Mm.
duos. If you match with your 3 or 4 buddies, then you'll know, or 5 buddies, and you go as a pre-made, you know that you're gonna go face other 5 pre-made, and I think
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
super healthy for the game. They also have their own rating, and
Yeah,
which is like doesn't take from like the solo queue, it just adds up to the game, and I think that was very very nice.
definitely. I think so too. I think that's a whole different discussion, and we need a
Yeah,
whole other day for that.
yeah, 100%. Let's go back to the story of the Barb.
Definitely. Yeah, that's nearly it. I mean,
And now
there
we're
were
kings.
then
Now we're kings after Crusaders. I
yeah,
think
then
I got
the whole passive wave started. All that cleave passive, chains passive, hammer passive, freeze
yeah,
passive, all of that stuff where we can just stand and die and still doing damage.
yeah,
And this now leads to the last step with the Terra helmet, with the Spartusk helmet, where we can run freely and even do damage in that time. So we are even leaving that passive damage time now, doing active damage. This is the difference now, CC and active damage.
and now you have the Berg Breaker. That, oh man, the Berg Breaker is so broken, man.
It is really broken.
Okay, usually in the past I used to always activate all the time the rat, right? But now what I do is I run normally. When I'm about to reach the idol, I activate it because I want to stay the full duration of the rat always with the spin, because the Berg Breaker only does damage whenever you're transformed. And if you go into the idol, man, I'm sorry, you're gonna get CC'd by other classes, wizards, whatever it's gonna be. But as long as you are in rat form, you're always doing damage, and you're gonna see those tempests and everyone getting out of the idol. It is so fun.
It truly is. Yeah, it's I think the main biggest essence change we had. It's boosting all of PvE damage. It's boosting all of PvP importance of that class. It's one of the key changes we had.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So now let's talk about something that I don't know much about it. It's just like Barbarians, if they are free to play class or not in PvE or PvP. But before
I'm
I
not free to
speak,
play.
no.
I'm
Before I
something
speak,
else than free to play, but you are.
I am completely free to play. I know you're not, but first I want to have your take before I go in.
Okay.
What do you
Do
think?
I think Barbarian is free to play? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. It's one of the, I think, easiest class to access as a new player, as a free to play player, because it gives you a security with the Undying Rage, no matter what you do. If you're too weak in PvE and you don't getting through the whole mechanics of doing damage and everything and just
Undying
want to have a
Rage.
good stuff, Undying Rage. If you go to PvP and you're a low resonance player and you don't land your skills at the first time and don't know where to stand correctly, Undying Rage let you do something at least. Of course, you're not benefiting as your max potential, but you stay valid. And that's, I think, the point.
Yeah.
That's my main point.
Yeah.
But I want to hear what you say. You're actually playing like this. What is your experience in PvP? I mean, you have a high rating. That's awesome. To have free to play players rocking and leading the ranks, that is nice. And that's a good sign for everyone who says, oh, this game is only pay to win. No, it's absolutely not.
Yeah. I will I will do a disclaimer first, okay? Before I start, I'm not a casual player, not so ever, okay?
Free to play doesn't mean casual, right?
Exactly. Not at all, okay? So I'm also not, it's not my first ARPG game, okay? So I played World of Warcraft. I did the high level, gladiator type of arena, which is like hardcore PvP, okay? So I have been a PvP player for many years. And I also tried in the past to be a pay to win player in other games. I used to play these lights. I used to play AFK Arena, and the main reason why I decided to go with the free to play route in Diablo is because I felt like, you know what? Let me try something different. Let me see if I can min max my character and actually do something with it and go and face like these spenders. I'm not talking about whales, okay? Whales are like in a different category that even spenders can't reach to that, okay? So that's when I realized, like very soon into the game, that okay, so I entered, so because like these shadow tasks, weekly shadow tasks, which are like very annoying. They send you to PvP. I don't know why, because it creates a lot of AFK players inside the battlegrounds. But that's what was my first experience with PvP. Was maybe it's the first experience by many. It's just like, oh, I have to do this shadow task. Okay, I guess I have to go to the battleground. But I didn't have gear. I didn't have anything, and I wasn't even a Barb back then. Okay, I think I was like Blood Knight. Was my first character, Blood Knight.
Mhm.
And then I realized that, oh man, the next time I come here, if I'm gonna compete, I have to be strong. So the first thing I can say, if you gonna Barb or not, if you're a free to play player, play the first 3 to 4 months to build your character. You're not gonna do anything inside the battleground, or at least, because when you go inside the battleground, you go the high expectation that you're gonna win, that you're gonna smash. But what's gonna happen if you don't have your fortitude pieces, if you don't have a high combat rating, if you don't even have savior, or if you don't have like the small things that really matters, you're just gonna get destroyed. And then
Absolutely.
you're gonna end up on Reddit, just crying about how matchmaking is broken. And maybe you were just smashed by a free to play player that they knew what the fuck they were doing, you know? So that's the difference. And for me, it took me 1 day and a half to get to legend. Because I was getting matched, like you said, with the same rating as me. So I reached to legend like with what, 75 or 71 or 75 or something like that win rates, because in my resonance slash secondaries bracket, I got my character so well optimized that I was just like pretty much feeling like a whale. And I said, that's how a whale feels like. You just go and you kill everything. So I'm talking about mainly the PvP side here, because I feel like the end game of Diablo Immortal, it is the PvP, because that's how you get to maintain the reign. That's how you get to be immortal. And I feel like that's the goal that every free to play player wants. When I started the game, I saw, oh, look at those golden armors. Oh my god, look at like it is. Look at those wings, and you dream about this. If you're like, but you feel like, okay, I'm never gonna be immortal if I don't swipe on this card. That's what everyone always told me, you know. And I was like, okay, I'll take that information, but I think that if I can keep going into this mid maxing path, I will be able to join a good clan and become immortal. And that happened. Gladly, I was immortal.
Nice.
Unfortunately, a lot of lag during those 5 weeks, but nonetheless was a good experience. But Barbarian in PvP right now, it is, as a free to play player, it is the best class that you can play if you're a low resonance. If you're a low resonance, if you're free to play player, you got your secondaries are low compared to everyone else. Your resonance is nothing special, probably below 1000. I feel that this is my take. Barbarian and Wizard.
Wizard,
I,
really?
I think, but here's the big caveat, okay? Wizard, you need to have the fingers, okay, to play Wizard. Okay, you cannot go play Wizard without ever played a mage class or a wizard class, or if you don't have the experience of doing PvP with one, you're probably not gonna do as well. But I feel like a low wizard, low resonance wizard, can do a lot of impact, almost the same as a barbarian. Maybe barbarian a bit more, of course, but with the new spells that the wizard have, they do very very well. So I think they are like probably the two strongest class. Before they used to be crusader, but let's be honest, the crusader right now is not in a good state.
Yeah.
And
I think even Wizard now with the latest Tempest changes, I think it really burned a bit. So a lot of people are immune now to his CC. He still is a CC monster, definitely.
yeah,
And if you have a bit of armor penetration potency, you're a dot monster, definitely.
yeah,
And you're dealing huge damage. But I still think, as a free-to-play player who knows what he does, and that's always the point, as a free-to-play and you do not know what he does, then
yeah.
it's
There's no
difficult,
point to play.
definitely.
There's no point to play. You're
Yeah,
never
but
gonna be able to compete.
never underestimate the Necromancer. I still think it is the
Oh,
strongest class currently we have. It has a
in
high
PvP
immunity.
or PvE?
Yeah,
In PvP,
PvP.
I don't think
I
so.
still think it's S plus tier, honestly. Especially with the latest dot changes we had. Necromancer killing the whole team easily, and as a 3K player or something, even killing enemy whales, it's abnormal currently what the Necromancers are doing.
Uh,
But I told you about that one guy who did the PvP without any gems, any secondary gems,
Mm-hmm.
and landed as the highest ranked player in that season of the whole of all classes, highest points. Absolutely free to play, no gems equipped, nothing.
That's crazy.
With a Necromancer, because a Necromancer still is, if you know what you do, has a high mobility, high immunity.
Yeah, the
high
survivability is
CC.
crazy. They
It's
have
crazy,
like
yeah.
what 69 lives. It feels like I can never kill them. Every time
Yeah.
I try to kill them, they just get reborn, or they got savior, or they get gladiator, or whatever it is. But
I think it's the only class currently that really can compete with the Barbarian. Of course, Tempest is there as well, but Tempest is slightly under the Barbarian, honestly. But I think the Necromancer is on par or even a bit in front of the Barbarian, PvE and PvP combined, because of their huge damage output.
I actually, now that I never thought in that way, because I always feel like if you're like a free to play player and your secondaries are so low, are you really gonna do a lot of damage with Necromancer?
No, but you are doing the CC. You are an
Mm.
annoying pest who controls the enemy team.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
your job, man.
Because I played Necromancer as a before Barb in PvP, and I was playing this weird. It was annoying. It was like a fear build. You know, like you go into this rat and you do the
Yeah.
fear, and then I had like my corpse lance doing the immobilize. So I was playing support Necromancer. So I can see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I would not say like it's as strong as Barb. No, I don't say. But yeah, we can agree to disagree. I'm
It's
fine with
fine.
that. It is what it is. As long as Barbie's on top, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
No, but now going a bit to PvE. I mean, Barbarian right now, like we said, fast, buffs your party, and open world, one of the best classes. You're gonna be so fast that I did it in 147 days or 42 days, something like that. I did it very fast. Okay, that's why I was saying I'm not a casual. Then you have like this new mode, Vanguard, S tier. You have dungeons, also super cool. As long as you're strong enough, you're gonna do a lot of damage. Yet bring a Tempest or a Demon Hunter with you, or maybe a Necromancer or something, like to just like one shot that. What is the name of that boss that if you don't kill it on time, it teleports you? I don't know the name, but it teleports you to this room.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. Every time my party slacks, I get annoyed. Okay, I hate
get
to
it.
go to that room. So bring someone that
You
does.
need my 300 million DPS build. I can solo him before he gets to the next phase.
No, but I can't. I'm farming also in Inferno 3, so I need some extra help. But you have like
Definitely, yeah.
what, Terror Rifts, awesome. You have the on raids. You pretty much, if you're struggling, Undying Rage, you're not gonna die. You're gonna be tanky. You're gonna apply your Sunder. So I feel like you just are able to do and tank everything as a free to play. And I read this one time in the world chat. Someone said that, like, something very smart, that the Barbarian is the perfect class to hide how lower your resonance is. You know, it's like
That's
the
good, yeah.
perfect to hide your resonance. Just go Barbarian, because that's literally how I feel. Because it makes no freaking sense how my performance in battlegrounds with the resonance that I have, it makes no sense. Okay,
Mm.
so of course, we have Undying Rage, but we also have Gladiator and we also have Savior. And if you are smart to just like play around those cooldowns, I'm usually not a barb that dies like 10 to 12 times per BG. Unless there
That's
are
me.
exceptions. I saw your videos, okay? But that's because you play Ota. You go into this
Suicide.
kamikaze, you go like just straight up to the back line. Never stop, never will be
Never
stopped,
stop.
But I play in a more calculated way. So yeah, of course
I
I
play
die.
that way too, but not always.
Yeah.
But I
uh,
get your point, definitely.
yeah.
I think there's one thing to mention of the
Hmm.
Barbarian as a free to play player. You need to be smarter and you need to focus all around on everything you can tweak. Reforges, gems, family, pets, all of the different things to actually go to or come to that point to deal a heavy damage. I think as a free to play player, if you don't know how to stack damage percentages on your legendaries,
Yeah.
on your sets, to do that properly, it's harder to actually go into a damage barbarian. Other classes bring that more naturally, the damage dealer classes. They just say, here, that item deal 50% more damage. Okay, nice, I'm doing damage now. For the barbarian, you have to be a bit smarter to get that damage unlocked. That's what I feel sometimes for free-to-play player. That's what many are telling me in the videos. You're reaching 300 million. I am on 50,000. Why?
Yeah.
So, okay, what are you using? Look, that doesn't fit. That doesn't work together. You can match that with that. Okay, it's skill and that's primary. You have to be a bit smart to unlock the damage potential.
Yeah.
But it is there, and with one or two videos, it's easy to unlock it.
Yeah.
That's just one remark I have for free to play. Others, Wizard, Demon Hunter, Tempest, they're bringing that damage more naturally. Even if you're using the wrong sets, you're doing great damage.
Yeah, 100%, man. And those videos, I think we're gonna put a few videos also in the description. The your DPS PvE guide. I also have what I feel like is maybe one of the best, if not the. I don't know. I think it's probably the best PvP guide when it comes like to tweak your character. Even like pay to win, because I made that guide for my guild. Because I even saw like some people that they just
Nice.
don't have the knowledge, and sometimes listen, it's not your fault. You just don't have fucking time. You have a family, you have a job, you have like you don't have the time to just spend to crack, and it's okay.
And think about it. It's a mobile
Exactly,
game,
exact.
casual mobile game that provides that complexity into the damage model and everything. And that's
Yeah,
why I love this game. It is not a mobile. It is a full-fledged A+ title that you can play on a mobile phone. So
100%.
this is what I really love, and this is why I get that many do not expect that
Yeah.
when they start playing it. And then they say, what the hell? What should I do all of that? I don't have the time. I'm playing a mobile game
Hey,
while
just
sitting on
watch
the,
Crane's videos. Like that's all you need to do. No, but it
Yeah.
is it is great. Like in that sense that there are people like you in for example Orat. Like you two were like the people that Orat also has like this ultimate DPS guide, right, for all the classes. It was mind-boggling to me, like when I was it was like a 1 hour or 2 hours. Like it's also super super good. So
To me as well after 1 year, okay?
yeah, yeah. I feel like if you never watch that, like also go watch my video, his video. Like if you don't have enough time, try to just go for these full in-depth guides, because I'll tell you my biggest problem as a free-to-play player, and that actually dictates everything that I do and how do I do things as a free-to-play player and a creator, it is that when I was starting the game, it was so hard to find good information stacked up in one video. It was very difficult. Probably you,
Mm.
Orat, and maybe VK also had like really good technical videos. I really liked. I made it in 1.5x, so you know the video. But you three are like probably the three that in terms of like theory and understanding, because I don't need you to tell me what do I need to use. I need you to tell me how did you do it, what did you thought, what is your thought process, and explain me the multipliers that, you know, like I'm that kind of guy. If you explain me how to do things, then you know, next patch there is these answers. Okay, I now I know, you know, I
Yeah.
understand the build, I understand what did you do. And that's why also now whenever I make a guide, I try to take my time to explain how the build works and what synchronizes with what. And on the in-depth guides, I try to make like from this topic 0 to hero. You just like from 0 until the end. I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know about this topic. You don't need to go and you know what? I'm being dumb. I needed to be a YouTuber and make 20 videos about this. You know, I did like 20 topics, so I should make an 8 minutes video about each topic. That's, you know, that's what YouTubers they do. But I always hated that, and
Yeah.
and I feel like we're gonna enter here a new stage. You know, like I feel like I brought something to the table. I feel like you also keep, and maybe you also get inspired to also keep pushing yourself to bring. And I saw, but your last video is dope. Okay, your last
It's
video
too
is a
long.
banger. Yeah, yeah. And if I pushed you or I inspired in any way to sometimes say, "Oh, there's this new guy," okay, maybe I, you know, like if this healthy, you know,
It totally is. And
competitiveness.
I like what you do. It's really a cool thing, and hopefully many more. We can reach many more players with that. So it's a really nice thing. But one thing you have to see, even I'm just content creator. I'm doing stuff because I like it. It's fun. I'm making some videos. I understand some things, yes, but
Yeah,
I'm not that highly invested as even other people. So
yeah,
when I do a video, I get so much stuff in the comments where I said, "Ooh, I didn't know that."
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, lags I just still have because there's so much to do. What is strived, what is not strived, I have no idea. And
Yeah,
then they need to tell me. And there are people really where they say 300 million. Why just 300 million? I could have done 600 million. What's up with you? So, okay.
yeah,
So, again, we don't know everything. Definitely. Don't expect
100%.
us to know everything. We know a lot. We help when we can. But there are still things that we do wrong, that we do not know, or whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like it's okay. Okay, just talking a bit off topic, YouTube comments. Okay, we
Hmm.
know that you are passionate. We know that you love the game as much as us, and we know that you also have a strong opinion, as me and Craine has. You know, and because that's what happens if you're passionate, if you play many hours, you're probably gonna have, you know, like this fixed mindset that this is the way to play. But sometimes it's not, and it's important to be humble. And you know, just for example, I did a video that I said like, oh, use lance breaker with this offhand and you're gonna do great damage. And then there was a guy on my comments, they came and say, yo bro, actually that's not the best way to do it. Go try the Ota build with the roar of persuasion and the other stuff and try it out. I tried it, it was like 3-4 times better. So I went and I did another video about Vanguard saying, hey, wait a minute, I was wrong. Okay, you guys call me out, and I think as a creator, it's important to have that trait. And also from the side of the commentators, don't come like with the constructive criticism. You know, I think that's the best way to put it.
Well, we're always happy for, and honestly, you're so nice guys out there. It's really fun making content. So many people are liking
Oh my
the
god, it's so
stuff and
nice.
giving
Yeah,
crazy cool comments, and it's really a lot. And it's just some but forget about it.
Yeah.
It's just that I wanted to mention, hey, we do not know everything, and that's
Yeah.
good, and that's
Yeah.
fine, because you cannot and others are not as well, and together we can make it work.
Yeah. 100%. So to wrap up the topic, is Barbarian free to play? 100%. Maybe the best class right now to play as a free to play player, and the most fun one. That's also something that people forget. So
We don't allow any other opinion in here, by the way.
no, it's only
So
Barbarian.
just
Only what is the tier list? Barbarian only on top.
perfect.
Then we have another topic. What are the best gem sets and stats for Barbarian right now? I'm curious to know
I
because
think
I have here. I'm fixed. I have a fixed opinion. Maybe you also have to, and then maybe let's see.
I've done a PvE guide recently for gems, and in the past I've done some PvP gem guides, and it's hard because they are totally different. You need a totally different set of gems for the two different uh, disciplines to deliver the best result. Okay, there are still gems working for both, definitely. The question is,
And what
what
are
are the
those two
best?
disciplines? Like PvE and PvP, or the inside
Yeah,
the? Okay.
damage and PvP contest, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, should I start with my 5 gems?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, I have Pain Clasp on the first because it's a damage gem for PvE and PvP. You still need damage in PvP, otherwise, you're useless. Second one is Roiling Consequence because of the crit and the dot. Dot enabler for Firestorm, crit just awesome because only crit damage
OP.
or critic damage counts in PvP. Spiteful Blood, something that is, I think, underrated most of the times. It is for the main core survivability of the Barbarian in the PvP. For PvE, not so good, but so strong in PvP that it is still one of the best gems for this class. And by the way, you need some gems to get your resonance up. It doesn't mean that you have to use them always, even in PvE. There is auxiliary gems. You can put in a level 1 Void Spark into your Spiteful anytime to be viable in PvE.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth one, Void Spark. heavy damage gem, automatically searching enemies, hitting so many stuff for ramping up your hammer, for PvE just smashing through the mobs and just delivering damage, delivering your dots even with a Viper or anything. Really good. Last one, Viper. So I have many rank 2-star gems in here, Pain Class, Vipers, and 3 5 stars. That is a good mix of resonance, and while many players are lowering their resonance, even high resonance players lowering the resonance because of high secondaries, this is nearly for every player a good setup to perform in PvP and in PvE.
So I noticed you didn't put the Blood Soak Jade there. Why?
Yeah. Because you are nearly never at full HP. That means profiting from the damage bonus is not that great, and in PvP it's strived. So you only get 3% normally, if any percentage, not that much. So 8% minimum, I think, then 3% strived, something like that. And your movement bonus is not so relevant for the Barbarian anymore.
Oh, what do you say? Okay, because you're playing a sprint.
Because
Okay,
of the runes.
oh, because you're using the blue runes on the main weapon. Is that what you're saying? Oh,
Yes,
okay,
runes
I
help
see what
you.
you mean. But that's just like 6%. I mean, like, because I use 10% from the Bloodsoak Jade. Okay, straight up, the only reason I don't care about the damage, okay? All I care is the 10% movement speed. That's why I use that gem.
Good. It's definitely good, and that's why it was still the best gem in the whole game, the whole time, the highest cost gem at all, and it is still good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I still think some are maybe a bit more important. I still play the Jade, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't put it into my top 5. It's maybe on rank 7.
No, I think that okay. So from your gems, let me think about free to play perspective, right?
Yeah.
If you have 3 5 stars, you're dead. Okay, you're dead in the water. Never gonna happen. So most likely it's gonna take you per year. If you don't use alts, I think alts are cringe. I don't use alts. I think it's a waste of time. I rather do something else with my life. I just, if you love it, awesome. I just can't. It's just like such a struggle. I like to play a main and that's it. But if you just play a main, you do your farming, you get lucky, you drop an orange rune here, you sell it at high price here and there. Hey, you're gonna be able to still do some plat and get some copies. You also have the Turlic pearls to get other copies. So maybe in 1 year you're gonna have a 5 star rank 5 gem, right? So I
That's
say,
already good. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say like as a free to play player, maybe like a bit more than 1 year, but let's say overall 1 year it will take you. So, putting that perspective, and I feel like right now the minimal acceptance for the gem is a rank 5, because I feel like the awaken slots, and please, if you are a free to play player, awaken your slots, man. It is so worth it to have, because those cooldowns and damage boosts are not strived in PvP. You go inside the battleground and they are not nerfed. You know this, right?
That's why I'm saying I'm not that sure about stride
Yeah.
stuff, but good to know if you
No,
say
it
so.
is not. It is not. That's why I have Wrath of the Berserk pretty much 100% cooldown inside the BG. So
Yeah.
it's really, really good. I always go for the cooldown reduction, except on the chains. I use because I use like 2 rank 5s that are not 2 5 stars. They are not rank 5, so I don't get the awaken slots. So I put it on my chest, and I put it on my pants, I think.
Yeah. The main important things are the helmet, shoulders, both main weapons, and 1 or 2 offense. If you
Exactly.
can get them, this is the main priority. The rest,
Yeah.
it's fine.
So
it's a benefit, but
so
it's
you
not
get the
that critical.
30% cooldown reduction. So then you also have to go check your green items to see, do I have cooldown reduction or not from the green items. But even if you don't need any cooldown reduction, because you just get your helmet and your 2 offense, and you get the 30% cooldown reduction on your rat inside the battleground. So then I go on
30% is anyway max, so yeah.
yeah. So then I go on the green sets and I pick damage done to players and damage taken by players reduced. That's what I look for. You know, I don't look for movement speed. I don't look for cooldown. All I look is for two stats, because this one I know, you know, these 2 substats also on the reforce sets, they are not strived in PvP. So I have almost like 12 or 14% damage reduced just by my green sets.
Mhm.
You know, so this is how, even if I'm lower resonance, I can still be a bit beefy. It's not because of my HP, it's because of these damage reductions multipliers, you know, that I get also with the Paragon. I also get more like 2.5% by each member around me, around the idol. So whenever you
Definitely, yeah.
see, well, I'm reducing like 20% or something like that, right?
Come
So
back to the Jade.
yeah.
Why the Jade?
So why the Jade? 10% movement speed. I think it is the best. And for me, just go with that one. I think it's the best. I still think it is the most useful gem overall through the whole game for the free to play player. The only one that I would consider if it drops you is the rolling consequence. Besides those two, I will not go with any gem at this current stage as a free
But
to
they
play
are the
player.
highest cost gems.
I
So
know,
in this
but
case, you are completely saying don't go for resonance. Because you will invest so much into them to rank
I'm
them up
saying
that
that,
you
okay, just to clarify, I'm saying that if you're gonna invest, just invest right now in these two. If you're a free to
Mhm.
play player,
Yeah, it's
first,
fine.
Blood-Soaked Jade or Rolling Consequence. Whatever is the first that you get, or whatever is your personal preference. For me, Blood-Soaked Jade because I prefer the movement speed. But hey, maybe you prefer the crit because you do more PvE and you like the crit and you can get movement speed with the runes. And I completely also get that. So, in my opinion, always go first with that. And then Fergen Fang. Come on, man. Fergen Fang, it is
Good. Definitely.
as a battle pass gem. I know it's gonna take you a long time, many months to get it like to rank 10. But okay, you're
That's
gonna
why I don't have it in there.
yeah,
Exactly because of that reason. That for some players, it is absolutely impossible to get this gem to rank 10.
yeah. But
It's
do you
really
really
tough.
need it to have it to rank 10? Like you really don't. You know, like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get there.
It's
You know,
strived. So in my opinion, yes. Under a rank 10, I wouldn't play it.
really.
Hmm.
Okay, so I
Because
play
you're
with
going
dots.
from 24, you're going down to what? 10%?
Okay, but in
10% on the
PvE, but
24 on the
mm,
max. And then you're going down. I think 20 is the one before, so you're already going down to 6% or something, and it's vanishing. And then you really have to think for like you have it
okay,
on
now
rank
you're
6
making
or
me feel
7 for.
little because I have rank 5. Okay, I
Yeah, you're
only
doing
got
3% more damage. Think about it. And you're
mm,
using a slot for that.
mm.
Isn't there some shield effect or some other benefiting effect more viable on that position? That's the question.
Okay, there is a very interesting gem that I think a lot of people sleep on it. It is and is not talked very much. Is the pain of subjugance?
Hmm.
How do you say subjugance? Something like that. The gem that makes you do damage to loss of control, increase damage to loss of control. You know that one is like a purple gem.
Yeah,
So I feel like that
definitely.
gem, it is very powerful. I don't see a lot of people using. It is a gem that it mainly works for Barbarian. So if you're gonna go for universal, setup, maybe it's not the best idea. Now you got like the new gem, the entropic, that boosts your skill damage. I think also that's also interesting. But have in mind that Barbarian uses a lot of primary attack damage, so maybe also cannot be the best option.
It's the point. I'm on that wall build currently, and
Mm.
I think
Oh, that's
for
on
free
that
to
one is
play,
super OP.
on free to play, Whirlwind is a current go-to build because you have Berserker,
Okay.
rank 1,
Mm.
Pain of the Subjuring
Yeah, yeah,
Splints,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, it's very
Rank
tough.
1. You have the new one, Last Whale, what is it?
No,
No.
entropic something.
Entropic, exactly. Skill damage, rank 1. Then you have
Paint Clash. Viper.
sorry?
Paint Clash and Viper. Easy.
Yeah, but then we are already on 2 stars. We still
Mm.
have Salads
Oh
rank
my
1
god.
star.
Zealots is
And then
so
we have
good. Zealots is,
the last one, how's it called? I don't know. It's another for continual damage.
oh, the Undying,
Unyielding,
Unyielding
blah blah.
Eye.
Yeah,
Unyielding Eye.
whatever. Those are 6 1-star gems. All damage. 16 to 24% damage increase.
Mm.
6 gems.
Rank
It's
1.
absolutely crazy. If you are a free to play player and want to deal a huge amount of damage, and I prepared a whirlwind build that can stack up to 20 million DPS. This is, I think, one of the nicest things with the new gem and with an overall skill damage focus build currently for the Barbarian as an easy to start class.
I will say that for me, I'm in a position now, and I already was, but now it's like aggravated because I'm a creator. This is the problem of being free to play. And that's why there is so much panic when it comes to being a free to play player, that you get this question: what is the best gem setup? Please tell me, Craine, what is the best gem setup?
It's totally difficult, yeah.
And I completely understand because I want to try the new gem, the skill one. I want to try the Pain of Subjugance. I want to try other builds. I can't. I'm locked in on my dot build. And I love my dot build, by the way. I think if you play free-to-play player, in my opinion, gray set 4 pieces, dots, you're gonna do incredible. I know that maybe you have a different opinion, but
No, I'm totally with you, and I'm even in a worse position because I'm a spender. You know, I invest, and if I would have followed a straight plan with my resonance, I could have been on 6K currently, but I am on 3.5K.
because you keep
Why?
switching.
I test out
Yeah.
every single shit out there. I have
Yeah.
a rank 10 Moss Thorn because I wanted to know how it works. I have a rank 10 that continual damage spark shooting thing.
Oh,
I test out all of this stuff because I want to know. But I don't care. It's
yeah.
the fun for me. That's why I thought, okay, I'm testing out so much stuff. I need to bring it somewhere. I need to do something with it. This is where I start creating content. Because I thought, okay, then don't go for the high resonance way. Go for the spread knowledge way, and just test out everything. Even if you
just
don't
be
get
like
a high
the
resonance,
research.
whatever.
And I completely understand it because I feel the same. But I can't.
I've switched my reforges 10 times already, buying that damn stones again and again just to test out stuff. I'm so happy for the 2 different loadouts.
I tell you, it is the lack of versatility that exists right now, especially on the gems. It just makes the game a bit less fun, massively less fun, because I wish I could have gems for PvP and gems for PvE, and I would like so much more damage in PvE if I had like the right gems. Bro, if you're gonna go to PvE with dots, bro, you're not gonna do a lot of damage. You're gonna do damage, but you could have been doing like probably, I don't know what, 1.5x more, maybe 2x more, like with the right set. And I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, there is no dormant gem system for 1 stars and 2 stars, which
that would
is
be something, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. But let's talk about it, because I think there are 2 gems in the game that especially tackle that difference between, are you going on primary damage, are you going on hits, or are you going on dots with many hits but spread around and everywhere. And it's, I think, 2 of the most important gems for the Barbarian to actually matter. It's not a gem you definitely need, but it's the one that you need to hit the S tier level. And it's a Gloomcask. That's one thing. And the new WULFHEORT, it's the other gem. Both of them are nearly the same, but for different builds. If you're on a dot build, you want that WULFHEORT. If you're on a primary build, you want that Gloomcask. And both of them are really bringing the damage to the next level, honestly. That's why why I tackled Whirlwind, because I wanted to test the WULFHEORT with the Whirlwind, you know?
Oh, I see,
and
I see.
activating that on rank 10 with that demo, it's totally mad what results you can get with that. Okay, but it's not in your rank top 5s as well, right? One of those.
No, I'll say, like, I'll tell my top gems right now. For PvP, Bloodsoaked Jade. I don't go with the Unwilling Eye that increases your dot damage, because I don't want more dot damage. I want more dot duration. So I go with the Misery Elixir, because I want to extend my dots so I get more procs on my Grace. And that's where you get most of your damage, is from the Grace procs. Also, it's gonna stop the bandage, and you just want to be annoying. Then I have Pain Clasp and of course Vipers. Like, these are like buried. It's a couple. Okay, if you're not using these as a couple, you're doing it wrong. Then I have
only if you're high resonance. High resonance should not go with the Viper anymore.
Yeah, because
Roiling
you also
is enough for them.
Yeah, you have other gem.
For everyone else, yes.
I'm always, every time I open my mouth, is as a free to play player perspective.
Absolutely, and I'm interrupting you. Go on.
Then I don't use Mother's Lament in PvP. I don't. I use Ignis Scorn, because I want my dots to blow up and to spread my dots. And like, the whole build is all about spreading dots and doing more damage. And that's how I do most of the damage inside the BGs. of course, Everlasting Torment. Awesome gem, 1 star. Whenever you do a crit, you're gonna add another dot. And that's pretty much. If you want to add
It's a
also the
very
Furgan's
good
Fang,
setup.
you know why I like the Furgan's Fang is because when I hit the target one time, it's gonna be instantly stacked up because I'm gonna do like so much damage like in 1 second that it's gonna be fully stacked. So I mean, I understood your point, and maybe you have some right there, and maybe I will consider maybe in the future maybe change for like a rank 1 5 star, like the what is the name of the defensive gem that you just said, like the one that gets you immune to primary attacks.
Spiteful Blood.
The Spiteful Blood. I will consider to probably use one defensive gem in the future if I can put it. And yeah, those are like my top gems when it comes to
Good
PvP.
selection,
Yeah.
definitely.
In
And
PvE, I don't have a lot of experience. I
it's
go
for
with
PvE and for PvE. It's strong in both.
yeah.
Honestly, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Good. Should we
So
talk about sets? I think I know your set. It's already you want the Grace. You love the Grace.
I
But
love
it's
you,
a
Grace.
classic.
Grace, I love you. Marry me, Grace.
I think, but the most common set for every barbarian that enables you to PvP, PvE, to nearly everything with a nice damage and a nice crit and everything. 6-piece Banquet. I think that is the most important build for the barbarian.
I will say that if you're playing Ota, 200%. Because the stacks of the Ota are the thing that's gonna make you do the most damage, and that poison dot is so strong that is insane. In PvE, I don't know. I maybe will go.
Try it. It's really working like a charm. If you
It
have the
is
Void Spark and a 6-piece Banquet, you murder every rift, every dungeon, everything, and everything will just explode. It's really nice.
So I'll tell you something. And I kind of want to have this discussion with you because my opinion has evolved over time. So before I didn't think, I just used to follow, right? So I followed your guide, and then you used to use like 4 pieces Baron, right? In like one guide that you made like a few months back. So for PvE, I used to go with Barons, but now I start thinking that okay, but Barons doesn't apply on bosses. So if it doesn't apply on bosses, and pretty much I can already one shot or kill all the mobs, do I really need like those 20% more increased damage? Because where I was struggling in terms of damage was on the bossing. So that's when I made the change from I took off the Barons and I started playing the Grace. And I started having more damage output, especially on bosses, because now you just have extra damage coming from that set. However, I still feel that is a low resonance because I only have Mother's Lament. I don't have Rolling Consequence. And also, my crit is not that high. I think it's like 18%. Because I wish I could go for like the perfect piece with like fortitude, willpower, strength, crit damage, attack speed, the perfect one. But we know this game, it rarely happens, okay?
And even not anymore because of all the eternal
my
stuff.
God.
And
it's not gonna if you get crit, you're lucky. It's like okay, it's fine.
So you're thinking about the 4-piece Banquet?
Yes, with 4
it's
pieces.
Nice with the dot build.
With 4 pieces Vitus, I still feel like 4 pieces Vitus, it is really, really strong. But I kind of wanted to ask your opinion between.
It is the old different way of playing. Before we had the latest.
You calling me old school, man?
No, the old challenge between 6-piece Banquet, 2-piece Vitus, or 4-piece Banquet and 4-piece Vitus.
Yeah.
The difference is the primary attack. If you are doing boss damage with primary attacks, then the 4-piece split is most of the times better.
Okay.
If you're killing the boss anyway in a fast time and you don't want to stop with any enemy in between the start and the boss, then the 6-piece Banquet is better because everything will just explode crazily. So it's really a huge damage burst you have on an
But
AoE level.
what if like the 6 pieces bonus triggers before the boss? You know, that's a
You don't need
problem.
it on the boss. On the boss, it's not relevant anymore. You
Oh,
need it for the mobs before. You want to clear the mobs
ah,
before with the combination of Viper, the Void Spark, and your 6-piece.
mm.
Everything will just gone. You go into a room and the room explodes before you. You didn't even have the chance to do something. You're just running through, straight through, not stopping anywhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of the fastest way to clear mobs.
Mm.
That's why it's so nice.
I'll give it a try. You know what? Because for the Inferno 2, I farmed 4 pieces Vitus. Also, I don't have a lot of stash space. That's another free-to-play problem. I farmed 4 pieces Vitus, 4 pieces Barons, and 4 pieces Greats. They like 2000 combat rating, best in slots almost. So then I was like, okay, I got my sets, I got everything. Now I'm already farming for the next for Inferno 3. I think I got like 400 wisps or something. But on Inferno 3, I would 100% go back to try banquets. And I'll farm 6 pieces of banquets, 4 pieces of Vitus still, because I play a lot of Lace Break.
Yep.
And 4 pieces of Grace. I think that's gonna be my my must to farm sets. And if I had to recommend to any free to play player to go and farm sets, will be 6 pieces banquets, 4 PvE, where you can go with like 4 or 6, depends on what you want. 4 pieces for Grace for PvP, and then the Vitus. I mean, 4 pieces because you're gonna use 2 or 4. Vitus is such a
it's a good thing. Try it, and I promise you, it's really nice. It's that burst. It's just cool.
the feedback.
And for PvP, anyway, for PvP, a 6-piece banquet is just awesome. It's still, especially for the higher ranked. Okay, not talking about free to play anymore.
Yeah.
Free to play. PvP 6-piece, okay, you will do 1 or 2 dot ticks, but not that much, and that's why it's not that strong. But you get that crit, and that crit is good. And to have additional hits for the Hota build or anything is nice, or to just spread other dots, it is nice. It helps you. Okay, it's not bad, but it helps you. For the high resonance, it is extremely strong.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't know if people watching this is they know is like the set bonus from the sets are not strived in PvP. So whatever is the crit percentage that you get from banquets, that's the real one. That's you get what?
It's still not exactly the real one. You have to mention that because the stacking of crits is not working one-on-one.
Oh.
So it's not like you have 20% crit and then you get another 22 and then you look in your chart and you don't see a 42.5. Why? I just see a 38. What's happening?
Yeah, there's some weird things. You know why?
Yeah, of course. It is the calculation that you have your first initial base crit chance says you now have a chance of 25%, whatever, of hitting critical. If you have another crit multiplier from a set or anything, it does not stack. It calculates out of the 75% not critical chance. Out of them, you now have a 25 additional percentage chance to hit that one.
So the 75 becomes 100 and from
exactly. And that's why it's not calculated one-on-one. It's not stacking that easily. It is a bit reduced.
Yeah.
So the more crits you have, the worse the stack gets. And the more you should think of, should I go for that additional crit chance or not? Because at
I feel like if you
certain
play
level, it gets useless.
If you play Ota, you should. Because if you don't crit on Ota, it feels freaking bad. You know,
but go for activate the roiling, the lament, your set, and then go for a leap crit. Whatever, just as an example. You have the leap chance with a crit. You get 5%, not even 4% crit chance out of that 20% it originally delivers. And then it gets useless. Go for the damage. It's far better. You know, the stacking of crits is not working so good. As soon as you have 3 or 4 crit chances that stack, you shouldn't go for the next one
Yeah.
because then it gets useless.
I remember you were using on the PvP build the Arbinger, and the Arbinger were also giving a huge boost of critical
Yeah.
chance there. So
Yeah.
that's why most of the times you were just one shotting everyone. It was you know
Exactly.
what, since we're here, I want to praise you for that video, man. That video is great, and
I think you were before me. You were faster with
I
your
mean
PvP.
I don't want to I don't listen. I don't really care about that as long as at the end of the day we get the best version. Because I made a version that I was doing that, but whenever you did it better, you know, and that's just how it is. I did a version with the chains because again, my concern is to play around the idol.
Mhm.
So that's how I did. I did a Ota with rat and chains, and it worked well. You know, I managed to climb like really fast, but I gotta know, when I saw your build, I said, okay, this guy cracked it. You know, like it is a much fun and better build with, I think, the same concept that,
Mhm.
you know, I feel like the part that I innovated was coming up with a one shot first PvE build that I feel like it set up like the whole, you know, Ota trend. And it is so fun because if you play Diablo 4, it is super fun when you play the Ota build, and that's what I thought. I thought to myself, okay, if I can bring that same cool Ota build from Diablo 4 to Diablo Immortal, I think we have something here. And you know, it was really cool. And your builder, it is I mean, it's awesome. You just run and you kill everything, but it's
Crazy,
like,
right?
I feel like, you know, what I said was like, it is like a kamikaze mission that there is no way back. Okay.
Nope.
And
Absolutely not.
and I love Barbarian, but personally, I also have to admit that I think Barbarian may not be the best backliner just because of that factor. Yes, you're gonna kill everyone, but most likely you're gonna die. While Tempests and Necromancers, they can go, kill, and still come back.
Definitely.
And the survivability of
It's
those two
it's an
classes,
adventure for us barbarians.
yeah,
It's an
yeah,
adventure.
it's a one way adventure, right? uh,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to max it out. Of course, there are other variations of all of my builds, and oh my god, you could have a different style. You could have a different position where you are normally. You could have different secondaries. You can have different gems. Whatever stuff works different for every player.
yeah.
I just try to give an possible way of playing in a maximized way.
Yeah.
So going full retard damage, charge in, whatever. And then you can tweak it. Put in a shield, put in an escape, put in a whatever to be more defensive, to be more aggressive, to be somewhere. That's not what I want to tell, you know? I want to tell you there is something you should look at.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like guides in general should be a good baseline. Then
Mm,
whatever is your way to play and the way you have more fun to play, then just go for it. You know, like
yeah.
for example, on the Legacy of Oradin, I was trying because okay, it makes sense. I'm using dots, so I'm gonna put more potency, right? Like theoretically, it makes sense. However, when every time I did that, I went to BGs and I was struggling. I was not doing as well at all. And then I made the video and I said like, "Hey, listen, if you're a barb, doesn't matter if you're dots or not, just go armor penetration and armor. Like you're gonna be way strong." And it's like, "Oh, you don't understand in this, but you know potency. You know, that's how I imagine them on my head writing. You know, and I read that and I said, I understand and it makes sense. But I'm telling you, I played it, I experienced, and you're stronger if you go with
Yeah.
the armor and armor penetration. And maybe that guy is stronger with the potency, you know? Like, so what I'm trying to say is like every time you see a guide, take it with a grain of salt. You know, watch it, check your character, check the stats. If you have the gems, if you have the stats, if you have the sets, if you have the pets, whatever, check everything to see if it makes sense. Because the it only makes sense to build whenever 3 or 4 parts are connected with each other to make that banger result. And that's where I feel like
Definitely, yeah.
sometimes people don't understand the whole, mechanic of the build, and they are lacking one. Imagine a car without one of the tires, right? Maybe it's gonna, but you cannot go too fast with it, so
Definitely.
that's how I see.
Yeah, you just mentioned it, strength, fortitude, and armor and armor penetration. And I think that's the point of which stat is the most important one for the barbarian. It's that one, right?
Yeah,
Sapphires everywhere. So
sapphires,
do your horror dream, reset it, and put everything to armor and armor penetration now
one hundred
that you can
percent.
do it.
Those are the best
And go with
stats.
it.
It doesn't matter if you're dots or not. Just go with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what many do not understand. Go with the sets. If you farm them, first look at the sockets. The sockets are most important. You need your blue sockets. You need it on every part where you can have 3 sockets. You need 3 sockets, and you need your blue gem in there. Sapphire acromens or whatever. You need to put them in there to be effective. This is a keystone to be successful in PvP. First thing to do. If you're missing 500 armor penetration, you're gone. You don't do any
100%.
damage anymore. Okay, that's if you want to have success
And
and you
stack
want to
fortitude.
optimize. First
Fortitude.
thing to look at.
I will say to stack even more your armor and armor penetration. One thing that is like, the other day I was inspecting a guy because like he whispered me and said, "Hey, Indez, can you look at my character?" And first thing I saw was like from 8 pieces, from like the gear, 3 of them didn't even had fortitude. And then I went
Yeah.
to check his items. It was lacking 1 blue socket and 4 or 5 items. It was going only for the combat rating, and there was no fortitude.
Yeah.
So I was telling him, like, of course, yeah, your armor and armor pen are, even if you are a spender, he was a spender, much better gems than me, but I had better substats than him. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So
It's an old disease from spenders. And many already understood it, but having your secondaries pushed is the keystone.
yeah,
You can have high resonance as you want. You're just a useless meat sack if you
yeah,
don't have fitting secondaries.
yeah. So I will say that as a whenever you get your items, you are farming for 1 hour or something, and you have a few legendaries and a few greens. Always look at this. Does he has fortitude? If he doesn't have fortitude, just salvage it. It's trash. At least that's how I do. You know,
Mm.
no fortitude, salvage. Then I look for willpower. But to be honest, willpower, it is nice. And usually I always try to go for fortitude, willpower, and hopefully strength. But if not, I will go for fortitude and willpower. That's usually how I go because, man, if you don't have resistance, maybe just a bit, a bit of resistance, those dots really hurt, man.
Artless terror.
They really hurt, So
Okay.
I think, like in terms of stats, that's what you should push for: fortitude, all the pieces, at least. And for last topic, we're gonna speak about how barbarians are doing when it comes to guild activities, when it comes like to fighting against the immortals, defending your reign, shadow wars, all these things. What do you think about Craine?
Yeah. I think they're doing, of course, extremely good. um, there
Replacing
is
Crusader?
definitely. There is, of course, heavy impact on the Alley of Blood. So on that Vigils of, how's it called? Vigil of Blade, the
Mm-hmm.
Alley of Blood mode. Um, Barbarian is a beast, a totally crazy beast, unstoppable, and over S plus 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 tier on that mode. Because with that Whirlwind Leech, he pushes
Do
every
you go
tower
with that
away.
in that war, or do you go
Yeah,
with the normal one?
I go with the Whirlwind because
Mm.
I run through everyone. Even highest resonance players, 10k players can't destroy me on the tower. It
Mm.
is an absolute beast mode when you go with that Whirlwind Leech.
So you go with the same build as your Alley of Blood, and then you just add 2 other answers. Mm. Okay. I'll
and it's
try.
really
You know
effective.
what? Tomorrow I actually have a vigil, so I might go with that. Fuck it. You know?
Go through them. Ignore everyone.
Yeah,
You
that
are
it was fun.
PvE. You are PvE. You're not PvP playing. You're PvE. You want to destroy a tower while taking damage.
Yeah. So
Think
for
of it as a
context,
vanguard.
for people that don't know what we're talking about, Craine here he made a build that if you ever played the Alley of Blood event, which is like you have like those towers or Shadow Wars, which is also the same map. He made a build that you just go, you run to the tower, you leap into it, and you just start spinning, and you're gonna heal yourself. You're gonna do damage to the tower. Pretty much, you're just gonna keep pushing by ignoring your enemies. But the fun thing is like sometimes you also kill your enemies while killing the tower.
Crazy,
So
yeah.
we're gonna also put that build in the comments if you guys want to check. And you
And
know,
think about it in virtuals, because now you have your bug breaker and
mhm.
you have a world that damage yourself.
Oh,
It's extreme damage.
but
It's
how do you
15
heal
million
yourself? You don't heal
DPS.
yourself anymore. How do you
Sorry?
heal? How do you heal yourself now?
Yeah, you're right. You need the raw in that
You
case.
need the
Sorry.
roar.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn it. Okay, but you could go for the chains, but never mind.
yeah, that's true. I tried the chains. Okay, you know, I said on the video that I tried to make a better version. The chains was the closest it could be to the leap, but the leap
Hmm.
was still better. The leap was better than the chains just because you can just jump like through that wall, and sometimes they are coming. You just go from the corner and you jump to the
Yeah,
wall, and you could get some tower damage. But I really tried, man,
right.
but you did
It's
an
fun.
amazing job. So I feel that right now barbarians are definitely in a good spot, and I want to tell like just a small story. A few months back, whenever like Spartans were like here, you know, god tiered, dispelling everything. But in my guild, I was still new. Okay, so I said I was telling, hey, because I was seeing everyone changing to Crusader before before the vigil starts, you know, or the Shadow Wars or all these things, and I was like, hey guys, what if you change to Barbarian? I mean, I feel like it is strong, um, but you know what happened was like, what do you do usually? You do inspect. You see a guy with a back then like 700 resonance, and you're like, ah, forget it. This guy is a newbie, you know. So back then, my voice was very low, but I said back then, like, listen, don't change for Crusader. Like
Yeah.
Barbarian is the shit right now. Like you should just go Barbarian, and we can win that because and what happened in most of the wars was they were using barbarians. Our crusaders went near the tower, put the shield. Spartus, poof, bubble is gone, and
Was
now
a nice time when people didn't know that it actually works like this, right?
it
It
was
was
it was
glory time.
so it was so OP, man. It
And
is
it was,
still
by the way, it was not new or anything. We
mhm.
had the Necromancer before with his Dispel, where he could
Depends, right?
unspell the Undying Rage and everything. So
Yeah.
I went into Immortal fights with 4 enemy Necros
Hmm.
that stealing my Undying Rage easily before that.
Yeah.
So now it was at least a bit better because you could use Barbarians as tanks because the Necromancer was not able to tank in that way.
Yeah.
So you could go into a 2-2 situation where you have 4 Dispel guys, but 2 Necromancers, 2 Barbarians. So it was a nice change.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
but I feel like maybe now I'm thinking on the 3v3, if you win against the Immortal, I feel like on that fight, maybe that there are better options. I don't know if Barbarian on that fight it is the best option. Just because again, you don't have the escape. Because if you see that fight, they go in and they come out. They go in, then they come out. And as a barbarian, once you go in, it is not easy to come out. You know? So
But you have 2 or 3 lives. That would be your
mhm.
chance because it's not like you're jumping in, but you're standing there and you're giving your backline the opportunity to shoot at the enemy
Yeah,
for
that's also
8 seconds straight or something.
Yeah.
So the others will go away
They will
and leave
compensate.
you. and
Yeah.
you can then run away. But yeah, many go with the Heartless Terror, of course, to move more freely. That's a thing, but you will then lack a bit of damage. So it's really
Yeah.
difficult, to be honest. I couldn't say what to do right
Just go
now. But
Tempest.
Spartask, you don't do anything wrong, at least. I don't know if it's the best solution,
Yeah.
but it's not a bad solution.
I don't think I'll ever be on that battle, at least as a free to play player. So, but what I was trying to think was like, is it a good option to go with a barbarian? Imagine like you're like a 8,000 resonance guy. You have all the answers in the game. Okay, you can pick any class. I will most likely go with Tempest instead of Barbarian.
I get that. And it's definitely a good choice.
Or
I think there will
Necro.
be
Or Necro.
Necromancer will be a lot, definitely, because they can control the Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the current meta, there was the Squall playing people that made you immune for that 1 second or something. I think that's still the better way to go than this crazy blades. But I'm not that deep into Tempest, honestly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
very difficult.
They are
here.
crazy.
But
They are still.
Barbarian is still a good choice in my opinion because
Yeah.
it combines the survivability, not as a 3-player team, maybe not, but as one of the 3 to have a barbarian as there, and there is a very good initiation chance. So to let him go initiate, clear the battle a bit so that you know what is happening, let him eat some skills, you know, and then come into the game and win it actually. While the barbarian survives, he maybe loses his undying rage, he's a savior, maybe he's even the gladiator, but then he can escape. And then he can recharge those things pretty fast. So that's why I think he's very, very good for this
I agree
3
with
versus 3.
One of the 3. I think definitely one of the. I think a very strong team now. If I had to think like one barbarian, one tempest, and then I'm thinking like the problem maybe with necro is like the friendly fire, you know, because when you put the corpse lance, you don't know if you're gonna target your friends or not. So maybe even on that, a second tempest or something like that, or a demon hunter, maybe just for like the instant burst. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience. I'm just
I think
theory
even the
crafting.
Crusader is a good point. I would put
Oh,
in
Crusader. Yeah, Crusader is
if
a
you
good one.
combine those two.
Yeah,
they are pretty
Barbarian, Crusader,
strong.
and Tempest. Oh, that's a strong one. It feels like, you know, because did you play World of Warcraft?
No.
Okay. In
Sadly
World
not.
of Warcraft, there was the most popular mode was arenas 3 versus 3. The most popular ones. That's the one that all the best players played. It will be very cool to have that in the game, in this game. You know,
Soon, I think.
maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, well, I
Okay.
think this is everything. Man, it's been what? Almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours, man. Like
we can do it in 1 hour, of course.
yeah, of course. 1 hour. Like easy.
That's what I
easy.
said. I'm sorry.
Craine, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. Thank you for being amazing at what you do. Thank you for inspiring me to also do what I do now. Thank you for inspiring me to also change to Barb, because I played Barb because of you. And hopefully now
That's
I can
nice.
do the same for others.
And in this, thank you for the fresh wind. I think you're doing a good job for the community with the events and everything. And congratulations again to the partnership. It's really nice. I
you
think
too, man.
that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's give a fist bump. Okay, come here. I have to give this side. No, the other side. You have to. I'm mirrored. Hey!
You're there. I'm there.
Partner fist bump. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Thank you for having me and to prepare the table like this. Cool thing.
And we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna have more states of Barbarian in a few months, because I'm sure things will change. Maybe next time we're gonna Barbarian is so bad. Oh my god.
Will happen.
Because right now it's Barbarian S tier all the way. You know, we're
What are you waiting the most for Barbarian? What is the one thing you really wish for?
That's a good question. I think for the Barbarian itself, I'm completely comfortable with how it is.
Yeah.
I am. My problems are, for example, the gems, the not being able to experience more gems, or trying. Okay, Whirlwind, Spin Twin. Please let me use Wrath of the Berserk while being on Whirlwind spinning 100% uptime. That's gonna be such a clickbait title, man. 100%
I'm
uptime.
going into the same direction, but I
Yeah.
want something else. I want the one essence that says Whirlwind is now dealing primary attacks.
Oh, like the Strife. Oh my god.
That would be great. That would
Holy
really
shit.
bring Whirlwind back.
That will be insane. That oh, listen, that will
This would
be
again
insane.
change
That
really
will
the
change the
way
meta.
of playing Barbarian.
Oh, that will be so fun. Oh my god. I played Strife. Whenever the Demon Hunter came with the Strife, I played it. It was fun. Like so
Yeah,
much damage.
a huge burst.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, that will be so
was
fun.
nice.
You got me excited. You know what?
Yeah.
Did you ever play Diablo 4? Did you ever play? I kind of want to
No,
tier the
not
craft.
yet.
Okay, I want to tier the craft something with you. Is there is this spec also, Thorns Barb. Thorns is the same as Retaliation on the on Diablo Immortal. So I have this idea of concept. I don't think it's possible, but maybe you're gonna be able to help me decipher these maybe in the future. Retaliation Barb only. You go to the idol, you sit, you kill everyone. You know, if they attack you,
Nice.
they die. That's just a concept. Okay, it's just a concept build. I don't know if it's possible. I know that there are like some 2-star gems
It's
that
something similar. I called it the turtle. The turtle
the
build.
turtle.
Where you
Oh,
sit in there and just had your cleave and your change and chains and everything around you, and you just.
you just sit there. You just sit there.
But yeah,
Craine.
a real thorns build would be really great. Now with moth's thorn and everything, I
Yeah.
think there are some possibilities.
Craine, once again, thank you so much. And to everyone that is still watching this, please, if you watch this, thank you so much. Put in the comments below
Thank you
that
guys.
I love Barb. Just type in the comments below, I love Barbarian, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.